You so messy. He-
Oh, look at it. Whoa.
What's up, peoples?
hey, what's poppin'?
We are here back in the building.
Back in the building,
We
y'all.
are
One
back.
more time with Shift Real Talk
Tuesdays.
podcast. It's
Well,
Shift Real
Real
Talk
Talk.
Tuesday. Shift Real Talk
Wednesday,
Talk
Thursday,
podcast.
Friday,
all
and
according to
Saturday.
when you caught us.
That's right.
Yeah. So
So
today
we shift all the way out through the week.
we shifted.
Yeah.
All
We
day.
shifting all week long.
So y'all listen.
And we talk a lot of shift because we can back it up.
If this is your first time joining us here at the Shift Real Talk podcast, we just want to say thank you to our Shift Real Talk Nation. We love you guys. Just stick around because this show is going to be something that is going to help you. It's going to bless you. And it's going to be something you want to pass on to your friends and your family.
Absolutely.
Y'all. So today, our hot topic is I'm a prisoner to your expectations. So we're talking about expectations, y'all, and how our expectations can have people behind them bars like this and can't get out, right?
Oh, man.
So today, we want you to subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel, Shift Real Talk TV, Facebook, Shift Real Talk TV. We on all social media platforms. Like I said, again, this is Shift Real Talk TV, and my name is Lady Free.
And I'm your boy, Pastor J.
Yeah, that's my baby.
Listen, y'all, we are always privileged, man, to meet special people.
Absolutely.
You know, and we have been privileged to bring some special guests on this show.
Yep.
And tonight it doesn't stop. We literally had to bring her back. She came on with us before and literally like just tore the house down.
Yeah.
You know, y'all been asking for her, and we happened to meet up again and asked her to join us tonight for this topic. And I promise you, this is her field, so she gonna do some breaking down. So I promise you, y'all coming in, you know what I'm saying? But we gonna introduce, she is a professional.
Right.
She is a professional at what she does. And we gonna ask and we gonna introduce to some and present to others, y'all. LaVonia T.
Yeah,
I had to shorten
yeah.
that last name up.
Hey.
Nah,
What's
you good?
going-
No, it's Scott now though, so we got to get Scott.
Oh.
Scott.
Come
Yeah,
on
my
here.
husband ain't gonna let you call me Tryon no more.
Okay.
That's what's
Oh
on my.
no, yeah,
I
we
know
definitely
that's
gonna. Please correct me
I
because
know
I
that's
cannot
right.
make that mistake again.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Tell
he
big bro,
can't hear
tell
you.
bro, I said I am sorry.
I'll tell him.
Let
But
him
he
know
gonna be
I won't
her
make that
last name's
mistake
Scott.
again. Is locked and loaded. LT
I
Scott.
love it. LT
Okay,
Scott.
so-
That's it.
So, LaVonia, she is
Yes.
a trauma therapist. Am I
Yes.
correct when I in saying it like that? But
Yes.
she is so
Yes.
much more than that. So we're gonna give you an opportunity while people are coming on.
You know,
We're just gonna give you an opportunity to introduce yourself. Let us know what's going on and where we can find you.
Yes, I love this. I am so happy to be back with y'all. Like the first time I was here, it was the energy, the vibe, the connection, and y'all's community is hot. So
Yes, thank
I
you.
love it. I love it. I love it. And it's just been a blessing for me to be here. And so I'm LaVonia Tryon Scott. And so my specialty, I love trauma. Like I say, I'm attracted to trauma like a fine chocolate man. Like that's how I feel about trauma. When I see trauma, because there are so many of us that have lived in experiences and we're calling it our norm and we don't even know that it's not healthy. Right?
Right.
We don't even know that it's not normal. It's our norm, but it's not normal, right? We're functioning in dysfunction. And so when y'all told me that the topic was, I'm a prisoner to your expectations, I was like, yes, baby, sign me up for this.
Right.
Because this is so true. And it's so many times in therapy when I'm working with women that are going through relationship trauma, divorce, recovery, childhood trauma, hidden wounds, that a lot of it is because they expected something to be a certain way and it's not. And not only are other people prisoners, they're their own prisoner as well. So
Right.
I'm ready to see that some people get free tonight. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
unintended.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Come on here.
Free,
Yes.
pun intended. Okay, so tell us where we can find you before we get into this thing really good. And if you want to, you go ahead and put it in the chat as well.
Okay, so you can find me on all social media platforms at LaVonia R Tryon. That is my handle, and that's my website. That is Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You'll find me at LaVonia. YouTube. I am building up my YouTube channel, so be patient with me there. But that's where you can find me, and I will put that in the chat for y'all.
Okay. And you can actually download this episode on your channel too, because this is going to be
We're going to collab.
I love it. I'm gonna put y'all on there too.
Yes. So we got our people coming in. Patricia, how you doing,
Hey,
love?
Patricia.
Aunt Liza is on.
Of
You know what I'm
course,
saying?
Aunt Liza, we
yes,
love
we
you.
love y'all. So they tuning in, they coming in. So listen, y'all. Let's delve in. Let's go. Let's go. First and foremost, to really understand what it means to be in the prison of other people's expectations, let's define what expectations are.
Let's go.
Let's deal with, I want to hear
that.
you. What are expectations? What do you believe
So-
expectations are?
For me, what I consider an expectation is it is literally the way you think that someone should act, the way you think that something should happen, or the way you think that life should change, should turn out. So an expectation is often they are either spoken, unspoken, hidden. And what I say is a lot of times expectations operate like a computer system in the background. We don't know that we have them until they're broken, until they're unreliable, until they crash out, right? And then we all of a sudden look up and we realize that we're disappointed or we're bitter or we're resentful and we don't really know why. And most of the time it's because we had an expectation that we may not have known even to ourselves. It was hidden to ourselves, or that we definitely didn't speak out to other people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ooh,
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
the picture I got when you said that was I built a vision of what I wanted you to be like, how I wanted you to act. You needed to look like this. You need to do this. The things you do when we get married, you need to be a husband like this or a wife like this. So I built an idea of who you were supposed to be and how you were supposed to act. And when you did not go along, even if I never told you what I built in my mind, if you did not go along with what was built, then I feel like you broke down what I built.
Wow.
Right.
So we
Exactly.
can't be together.
That's it. Expectations are real, even if they're unspoken, right?
Yeah.
They're real to me. So even if I create a fantasy world in my head, it's still my reality. So when you
Right.
don't live up to it, then it still shatters something in me. And so that's exactly what happens in a lot of marriages, is that I have an image of what I want this to look like and what I thought it should look like. And as women, we're told, Disney stories, right? You're gonna grow up, you're gonna be the princess, and the handsome prince is gonna come save you, and we're gonna live into happily ever after. There's a reason why Disney stories end and they lived happily ever after, because they don't want to show all the junk. Right?
Right.
Because that would tear up the actual fantasy.
the
And so
fantasy.
we grow up with thinking that our life should look like ... And we
Right.
never actually figure out what is realistic and what's healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sadie Crane, what's up, Merle? How you
Hey,
doing?
oh, my goodness.
Sadie
Sadie
Crane.
Crane, how are you?
So is it safe to believe that a lot of our expectations are built sometimes from the way we were raised? You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of our experiences also shape what we expect. So with that being said, culture can shape expectations, and today's culture is shaping a lot of what we desire.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it is, like you said, it is so fictional until we make what we build in our head what it should be and what it should look like. Because again, these are things that are created in our head, and sometimes pictures are created in our head. Sometimes thoughts are. This is where our thought pattern is shaped from what we think.
In
but
our
that
head.
thought is sometimes is not even real. So sometimes we hold people to an expectation that we put in our own head, and we expect them to be something that we put in our head. So, so I'm going there to ask this question: how can expectations either hinder, destroy, or help relationships?
Oh, that's good. That's good. So I've often heard people say that you should just have no expectations, right? That
Yeah.
is ludicrous. That is ridiculous. We all have expectations, right? We expect honesty. We expect respect. We expect integrity. Like expectations are healthy. That's what actually helps us set boundaries. So we should definitely have expectations. The reason that expectations actually hinder or they hurt or sometimes break relationships, and not just when we're saying relationships, we're not talking about just boo things in here. We're talking about family relationships. We're talking about church relationships. We're talking, we can take a whole podcast on church expectations, right? And so we end up having these unspoken or these hidden expectations. And so we are putting social media, that's a key. Social media comparison, right? We will look at someone's highlight reel and we expect that 20-second clip of the husband, that just so happened to have a video camera set up when he walked into the house, and there was rose petals everywhere, and he had Brian McKnight singing right beside the drawn bath, right? And now we're invited into this spontaneous event that is completely staged. And now we're looking at our husband sideways because he brought us Chick-fil-A home for dinner, right? And so we have to understand that ends up cultivating in us expectations that aren't necessarily realistic, because people, if they're honest, your favorite Instagram and TikTok couples will tell you, we don't live like this every day, that this is for entertainment. This is our income. And then how many of those have you seen post a video about how much they love each other today, and a week later we've decided to part ways and we just want to say that we support each other and we'll always be friends. But we've based our real life examples of that. So to answer your question, Pastor Jay, definitely, I do believe that we have to have expectations, but the way they hinder or they break us is when we don't realize that those expectations are not based in reality. And if they're not actually spoken and agreed upon with the person that we are expecting them from.
I think, girl, you be rocking it. the way you prolifically speak upon it, So when I'm as I'm sitting here, it's like, can you imagine how long you said do they help, how they help hinder or destroy a relationship? We build expectations from, like LaVonia say, little children. How we listen to Cinderella stories and Snow White and all of that. And then now children aren't really looking at that. They're looking at social media. They're looking at people's lives and how the man is supposed to be, and how, because the man isn't in the home, for whatever reason. So now I have to find a man that I look up to, and usually he's the fictional character on someone's social media, and I'm looking at that, and it's like I'm building something.
Yeah.
And as I'm building something, it's important to me, this thing that I'm building. But what nobody ever tells us is the thing that I'm building is mine. It's not ours. So once I get into any kind of relationship, which means I have to learn how then to relate to that person, and that person has to learn to relate to me, then the expectations I have, me and Pastor Jay used to say, get rid of the expectations. We used to say that all the time. I think one reason why was because we were living footloose, fancy free. We were like totally like no boundaries. We just lived how we lived, and we two free birds, and that's just how we are. But over time, I think what happens is the expectations that we have for each other, the good expectations, like you said, the ones that are honorable, the ones that help us set boundaries, those can be tweaked. you can tweak those boundaries with the person that you're in relationship with. It doesn't have to stay like you created it. You can actually put some tint on the window of your creation. You can actually put some concrete, a little what you call that thing that you put over the yard so that the sun won't come down and beat upon you. You could put the fake grass or how it's like you can come together to create, and the two shall become one.
Yeah. Do you see? And I hear y'all talking. I want to go to the controversial side.
Okay.
Because yes, there is
Let's
the
bring
person
it.
that does have the expectation. But can you imagine the pressure put on the one that is trying to fulfill those expectations, especially when they know about it? I know a story in the Bible, as I'm thinking about it right now. There was a king, Saul.
Come on, Pastor.
When Saul was appointed king, right? Before he was appointed king, the scripture says they were about to do a ceremony for him, but when they looked for him, they couldn't find him. He wasn't there. He was not there.
Right.
So they had an expectation. The children of Israel had an expectation of this king being put in position because they wanted to look like the other nations. They wanted to look powerful like the other nations, but not realizing with this expectation that they had that they were missing out on what God was already doing for them because they was about to put somebody in the place of God.
To lead them. Yeah.
To lead them. So my point is, so coming down even later, there was a point where now he's in place, but now he has to, he's trying to at least show them that he's this king. You know, they chose him to be this mighty strong man. So what he tried to do now is gather a lot of them, the people of Israel that were not warriors. They didn't even have the tools to fight.
Right.
But he was doing all of this to fulfill an expectation. First and foremost, he wasn't even ready. He was, because he hid.
Wasn't ready.
And then as a king, now if you're appointed king, you are able, that means you are ready to lead. You're ready to be this person.
Right.
But he was trying to fulfill expectations so that he can look a certain way. But again, so if you're trying to look a certain way, fulfilling expectations, then you're not being yourself. You're losing who you are to fit what somebody else is expecting you to do.
Right.
Do you know the pressure that comes with that?
The pressure is real. The pressure is
Pastor Jay,
real.
it's so powerful. And if you even take that further, they had never had a godly king because they never had a king. So
They never had a king.
the expectations that they had for a king was based on pagan kings in the first place.
Right.
So
Exactly.
they had expectations that Saul, there was no way that Saul could live up to it because they didn't even know what a godly king looked like,
Exactly.
right? They had God as their king, but they were looking at these pagan nations and saying, we want that.
Right.
So Saul was, I would say, in some cases, he lived up to some of the expectations that they actually had when they were looking at kings, right? Because they were looking at these pagan kings. They were looking at kings that kind of did their own thing and did what was right in their own eyes. And we saw Saul start going down that same pattern. Right. And so when we model, what you're saying is so powerful, because when we model expectations under a false narrative or under a faulty framework, then we're going to be looking for this person or this thing to build something or to provide something for us when it was on shaky foundation in the first place, right? So I think where people mess up a lot is that when y'all were talking about Lady Free, when you said that when y'all first got together, first got married, throw out the expectations. And I think what I hear you saying was basically saying that the expectations that you have of that you kind of came in with these preconceived notions, right? And allowing us to build what our house looks like together, what our relationship looks like together. And then that gave y'all that freedom to do that. What happens is that we mistake expectations with standards. right? That's those, we mix those up. And the difference is a standard is I choose what I will accept. An expectation is I need you to behave a certain way.
Oh, come on.
So those are two different things, right?
Yeah.
So I should have standards. Standards say, this is what I require. This is what I expect in a relationship. And I will fully allow you to be whoever you are. But if who you are does not align with my standards, then you get denied access to me. And expectation says that you must interact and behave in a certain way. So now I'm trying to control you with this expectation.
Exactly.
And I'm going to try to control your behaviors with that expectation. And that never goes well, because there's the only way you can change a person if they in diapers. That's it.
Oh,
right.
girl.
That's
Come
it.
on here.
Come on here, diapers. Pull-ups.
That's all you're doing. That's the only way you're changing somebody, because it's only God that can change a person's heart, right? But it's also, they have to be receptive to it and be willing to do that. And so we have to make sure that when we have expectations, that we speak them, that we have to make sure that they're coming from a healthy standpoint. And that we have to say, this is my standard. Now, how you fulfill that standard, that I give that freedom for you to be able to do that within, whatever your framework is.
Right.
And standard, I said before you said that, standard, I want to piggyback on what you said, LaVonia. Standard holds us, or standard actually keeps us in the place where we don't cross boundaries. So that the standard says, okay, look, I'm going to meet you here, but let's not pass that, because I'm not comfortable with going past the standard that I've created. But when you have an expectation, what the expectation does to the person trying to fulfill the expectation is now you're holding them to either something that they cannot do or something that they're not ready for. You know what I'm saying? So and there's a level of control that comes, the level of control that comes in, because now because let's be honest, y'all. When you know somebody is not able to fulfill the expectation, then you manipulate them to try to become that.
Right.
Because you don't know how to do this, so I'm going to try to help you. So you're right. So now we're trying to help a change that only God can create. So it comes with, what I'm saying?
And it's a change that they wasn't even supposed to make.
Leave them
alone.
Yes.
Leave them alone. Allow them to be.
Yeah.
See, becoming is the best thing that you can do as an individual. It takes two individuals to be in a relationship. So in the midst of me being married, this is new. I have to now become something that I never was. Even if I had been married before, I have to become in a new situation. So when you are becoming, it's a lot of insecurities that's going on, because a lot of what you were sure about, now you have to kind of like work with and kind of like move things around. It's like a potter and a potter's wheel. It's like you're molding and you working something so it can come out beautiful. And in those moments of insecurity, in those moments where it's comfortable, because now it's not just me. I'm trying to become who I'm supposed to be in this marriage. You putting all your expectations on me. You trying to make me who you want me to be. I'll never measure up. Now I'm here with insecurities. Now I'm here with low self-worth, because I'm thinking I'm not good enough for you. But the expectations you're putting on me is only going to benefit you, because it's going to make you comfortable. It's going to make you happy. Leave me alone and allow me to be. Allow me to become.
I love it.
Please.
I love
Please.
it. I love
Let me
it.
become.
The sad part is about that as well. It's like when we get to the point of expecting, and there's that we put in a level of, like I said, and going back to what we're saying, but I'm just piggybacking. We put that level of expectation on somebody who's not ready. But the point is, what we don't even realize is that we're not even ready for it.
We're not ready.
We're not even ready for it.
Oh.
Because again, it's an expectation. I expect. Now, meaning that means it's trying to become. When me and my wife say, okay, when we said throw away the expectation, that means we were not going to bring in our fears from. We were not going to bring in our past experiences that shaped what we thought trying to bring that into another relationship. So what that did is break down the wall of what you dealt with in the past.
Right.
And let's build from here. Let's build together. Let's build without the expectations, because you're going to hold me to a standard that somebody else messed up.
Right. So I was dating Jimbo, right? So I'm dating Jimbo and Lil Bobo.
Yeah.
So I pieced together things I liked about that relationship, and then this relationship, and I didn't like when he did that, so I'll never let nobody do me like that again.
Absolutely.
And then I picked a piece of this and I picked a piece of that, and I built me a Frankenstein man. And I brought that to my marriage, and I'm like, you don't do the things I like. Oh no, I don't like that. And now I'm trying to make you become bits and pieces of other relationships. And if I just leave you to become who you are supposed to become and just let you be free to be, then I realized in my marriage, guess what? My husband is none of that other stuff, but it's everything God needed him to be to sharpen me. So as I'm becoming who I'm supposed to be, I'm getting better and I'm growing. And that's what God told Adam to do. He said, cultivate. Mm-hmm. That means to grow.
So in other
words, if you're
words,
not growing, honey, then it's not God.
So in other words, I didn't become your expectation. I became his expectation.
Come on here. And you became his expectation. I became his expectation. And together we was the expectation.
That's the mark. You met the mark. And what you're saying, like Lady Free, like y'all are hitting it, because what we will do is we will try to build a relationship, right? That's literally what and then realize that the cost is too high, because we are putting together these pieces of what we do when we've been experiencing trauma. We will swing from one side to the other. We will overcompensate, or we will set too rigid boundaries. So overcompensate will be, let's say I feel like this person hurt me. So too rigid boundaries would say, nobody will ever get access to this part of me again. So now no one can get close enough to me because this one person hurt me. Right. And then, or we'll swing it to the other way and we say, now my self-worth is challenged. And so now anybody who is attracted to me, they can get a piece of me, because now I don't even know my worth, right? Because I was so broken. So until we get back and we sit at the potter's feet and we allow him to heal us first and foremost, we allow him to literally lay it daily and say, God, I mean, I can't tell you. And my husband is amazing. He's amazing. And I'm a whole full-grown therapist. And I came into this marriage with some expectations that were based in my previous marriage that was still some trauma that I didn't even know until he did not live up to it, until he did not fulfill an expectation that I had never even set. Right. And then with me as a trauma therapist, I deal a lot in attachment theory, right? And when a person is anxiously attached, an anxious attached person, they seek validation. They seek that I need to feel connected to you constantly because I'm lacking some internal validation for myself. So that expectation is very high on that person that they're in a relationship with. So they're expecting this person to constantly validate them, to constantly affirm them, to constantly reassure them, not in a healthy way, but I need you to constantly tell me that you love me. I need you to constantly tell me that you choose me. I need you to constantly tell me that I'm worthy. And putting that expectation on a person it's draining, because one, that validation should come from Christ, but two, asking this person to fulfill your self-worth is called self-worth for a reason. It's supposed to be internal.
That's right.
I'm behind the bars of constantly. My bars is constantly, I didn't tell you I love you today, but you know I love you, but you didn't tell me. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God.
I think,
wait, before you say that,
I'm never measuring up.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a question. Have you guys ever met someone or had a friend? How about you had a friend? And this friend, before they got in this relationship, they was like top notch, top of the line, doing their thing, bubbly, the whole nine, right? They get in this relationship with someone, and all of a sudden, everything about them begin to change. Then they start looking
Oh
grayed
yeah.
out. Then they start looking like low. Then they start looking like always, some on their mind. Not the same person they used to be. Then all of a sudden the guy starts saying stuff like, you ain't like you used to be. You ain't the same as you used to be. They break up. When they break up, she goes back to finding herself, because when you live up to other people's expectations, you lose yourself, right? So she goes to find herself, and here she is now. She's confident again. She's doing her thing again. She's all up, and then he sees her again and like, man, I saw so and so the other day, man. I miss her, man. I remember how, but you the one messed her up. You the one
Oh
hurt
yeah.
her. You the one. I don't know why, and I tell my husband this sometimes. I don't know why people can't see that if she was like that, that made her attract to you, and you are the one that came into her life, and then all of a sudden she was not what you want anymore, because she's not this and she's not that. Then when you break up and you see her later and you see she's back to the person she was when you fell in love with her, guess what? The common denominator is you.
Yeah.
Your expectations,
Yeah.
honey.
I wanna before you, I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
wanna
yeah, you're
flip
good.
it a little bit. I wanna flip it just a little bit.
Okay.
Now as a parent, right? We put expectations on our kids. Let me give an example. I got a barbershop, right? And mom and dad expects the kid to sit there and be an adult. You be a big boy. You be a big boy. Don't you act like that. You expect them to sit there and be a big boy. We haven't taught them that, but this is what we expect. So when it comes time for them to now have to be what you are expecting them to be, who they are is what comes out.
Okay, break it down.
Meaning, if they are a spoiled kid, a spoiled child, that's what comes out. They don't want to get the heck, whatever for it. No. But we expect them to be an adult, to sit still and not move. But when it comes time to being that adult, who they really are, or being what we expect as parents, who they really are, it comes out. So the disappointment comes in where, well, dang, you acting like that, and now we make an excuse for it.
I raised you better than that.
Yeah. Now we make an excuse for our kids who are not being what we expect. So this is my question. With that being said, should there be an expectation put on our kids?
Okay, LaVonia, I know you finna break this down. I want to say one
Yes.
quick thing.
Ooh,
Yes.
that's a good question here. Are we going there? I'm
I
sorry.
don't want to come behind you because your stuff it's gonna be the exclamation mark.
You're good. You're good.
Yes.
My only
What's
thing
up, Dad?
is what you said, Pastor J. You haven't taught them, so how can you expect them to be what you never taught them how to be? Go ahead, LaVonia, take it away.
That's it. Because here's the thing. We are expecting our children to do something that, one, we never learned, and two, that we've never taught them in the first place. We cannot raise emotionally regulated children while telling them not to express their emotions. We cannot raise emotionally regulated children when we don't know how to regulate our children. When our own emotions, when our children make us upset, what happened? Well, first of all, they make us upset. That's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole
What
nother-
happens? We yell, we scream, but then when they get upset, if they yell and they scream, they get punished. We're teaching them that. So we're teaching them that when you get upset, you hit, because that's what we do. We hit. And so then they get upset, they hit, and now their consequence. Going back to your barbershop incident, when you're telling a boy, be a man, be a man, be a man. He doesn't know what a man is, first and foremost.
Exactly.
And what you're teaching him, be a man equals don't cry. So now we have adults that are in adult bodies but have never grown up. So now emotionally they are stunted to that 6-7-year-old boy who is told to be a man, which meant that you don't express your emotions, you don't cry. So now when his wife is trying to ask him to open up, when his daughter is asking him to engage with her and to show her what love from a man should look like, he doesn't have anything to do that. But the world reinforces that because they tell them that just because you have this a family show, but just because you have an XY chromosome, then that's what makes you a man, and they never teach them that. Then what ends up happening is they start to believe that whatever I give you is a man, and that's what a man is. So should a parent have an expectation of the kid? Yes. Should a parent teach the expectations of a kid? Yes. We have to teach. I have a son that, my bonus son, I love my kids. And I came into their lives when my son was 13, my daughter was 10. Right. So I didn't get the cute, cuddly, baby smelling babies. I got the teenagers. Right. And so when I came in, I had to figure out what my role was. And I had to remind myself that it's not my job to change them. It's not my job to fix something that I think is broken because of the expectations that I have. It's my job to get to know them and to shape them by showing them. So when my son has a crash out because he doesn't want to do something, we talk about those emotions. And we understand that while you are free to feel whatever you want to feel, these are the behaviors that you cannot do. Right? When we are able to separate emotions from actions, every emotion, the Bible says, be angry, but sin not. Every emotion is healthy. There's no such thing as a good or bad emotion. There's simply emotions. It's what we do afterwards. So that kid that is acting out in this chair, what is he afraid of? What is he scared of? What can you do to help soothe that, to give him some words to tell you what it is about a haircut that he doesn't like? And can we actually find a way to fix that? So now that's not just a haircut. It's a haircut, but it's not a haircut. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now as he's growing, when he doesn't like something, he now knows he has vocabulary, and he knows that his mom is going to give him space to express, this is how I feel, and then we're going to figure out a solution together. So if we can learn that, we are raising, like, everybody becomes an adult, but not everybody grows up. I think we need to learn that.
Yes, I like that. You said something. you said something, and as you can see by now, I think in pictures, and the picture I got, you said that I'm not here to change him and try to make him be something. I'm here to help. I'm here to get to know him. And that's the part of relationship, especially in marriage, we should take. When you finally get in relationship with someone and that person becomes important to you to the point of marriage, instead of you trying to change that person, instead of you coming to fix something that you feel like is broken based on your expectations, as you so eloquently put it, you should try to get to know that person. And you will find out, God says when he created man, he said that was good. So there is some good there to be taken from that, something that could possibly help you along the journey. But what we do is we'll talk to the children and we'll learn, we'll try to make sure that the children, especially when it's a bonus child, we'll try to make sure that the children are understood and heard. But then when we get someone else's child, well, they not children, but some of them are. When you get married, it's like that goes out the window. You should already know. You should already be ready. You should already. And it's like, no, this is not something I already am. This is something we, the two shall become. We're trying to build and grow and make something beautiful.
Well, I'm from the old school, LaVonia. I ain't talking. I'm sorry. I ain't doing too much talking. You're going to sit down and you're going to sit and you're going to hush.
But you know what?
You're going to hush. You're going to sit down and you're going to get this haircut.
That's so funny that you say that, because you don't even do your own boys like that.
I didn't have to.
Exactly. And that's a good point. I
didn't have to.
Why?
Because I taught
because
them.
Exactly. And we have to understand something. When you get to know someone and when you guys are learning each other and you're teaching each other about who you are, then guess what you don't have to do? You don't have to put your expectations on them. The
No,
expectations
no,
will come forth.
I'm not putting the expectation on them. I'm putting some chastisement
But
on
see,
them.
no, I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about even in relationships with your children, with your marriage, everything. If you actually take the time to learn that person and teach each other, then the expectations will automatically start being met because they won't be unrealistic because you're basing them now on what you've learned about the person you're in a relationship with.
I just think, a lot of times we build expectations from our level of, like LaVonia said, and I believe not just people who are attached have anxiety attachment. I believe
Anxious.
an anxious attachment. I believe a lot of people have that level of validation, wanting to be heard, wanting to be, wanting to be validated. And I believe a lot of expectations comes from that place of wanting to be validated. So you put an expectation on this need of validation.
Of mine.
Yeah. So I need to be heard, or I need you to know how I feel, and I need you to acknowledge how I feel. I need you to know that I'm heard, and I need you to acknowledge that I'm heard. So we put an expectation on everything that's lacking in our life. And I believe that if we deal with that stuff, if we deal with wanting to be heard and understand that, and meeting the people that we're with, not just even in our marriages, but just in the relationship period, because, we model who we are, or what we've been shaped to be from our experiences. And if we don't know how to meet people in the middle, we'll never know how to meet other people in the middle. If we don't know how to meet our mates in the middle, then we don't know how to meet our children in the middle. Mm-hmm. If we don't know how to work things out, and I believe that's where a lot of these expectations come from. It comes from a lack of who we are, or who we believe we are. Who keep telling ourselves
the
we
very
are.
first person you need to meet is yourself. That's the very first person you need to meet. A lot of us, we haven't even met ourselves yet because we're still under the weight of the expectations of world. Life be life, and as we say. A lot of us, we need to take some time to get to know us, because there's an inner turmoil. There's inner conversation. There are inner expectations that we're not living up to on our own. Guilt that we're surviving, and all kind of things that we're going through. So if you're in a relationship with someone and all of that's going on inside, then a lot of times you wonder why I asked you to do this and you didn't do it, because they can't really hear that for the loudness that they hear from the conversation and the inner stuff that they go through on a day-to-day basis that you probably will never know anything about, because you're so busy wanting your own needs to be met that every other need around you, you're not even keen to even pay attention to the person that's there in the relationship with you, and knowing that, I wonder what's going on with them today. Have you asked what's going on with you today? And really listened without a problem, not the, baby, we need to talk. Just, hey, let's talk.
So
What you're talking about is perception bias. It's basically we see people through the perception that we have. So it's, for an easy example is, if I think a guy likes me and he opens a door for me, I'm going to think, oh, he opens the door for me because he liked me, right? He will open the door for 20 other people behind me, but my perception is that he likes me, so it doesn't matter for those other 20 people, right? And so when we have an expectation within ourselves, or we have a belief or perception within ourselves, we are going to rate and see other people based on that perception. If I've been hurt before, people are unsafe. So therefore, every person that I encounter is going to hurt me. And so I'm going to put that wall up to protect myself as well. And when you talked about self-awareness, the thing about self-awareness that self-awareness is a buzzword. It's a pop psychology word. But the thing that we forget with self-awareness is that once I see myself, it drives me to action. Like biblically, it says, Lord, search me, Lord, and see what is unclean inside me, and then clean me up. So it's not just search me and see everything. Now I see everything and I don't do anything with it. Exactly. The problem with self-awareness and why many people stay hidden is because, one, they don't know what to do when they see the things that they don't like about themselves. And two, going to your example about the guy who, meets a girl and he's attracted to her, and then, he tears her up inside, and then, she gets away from him, and then, he see her again. Now he want to go back and jack her life up again. It's a lack of self-awareness for him, right? He will not see that he is the problem. And so he will continue to keep coming back in that case. And hopefully she's learned and she's healed enough to not accept that again. But it's the self-awareness there. It's the understanding that that if I get to know myself, then I have to evaluate what about me? Are there areas that I need to change? Are there areas that I need to shift? And then make a plan for how I'm going to shift that. If I need to get help, when you talked about Pastor Jay, you talked about the expectation that you set with your children, right? You set an expectation so they knew how to respond and how to react. And so they knew what their dad expected of them because they had grown up in that way. And what I had to learn that even in healthy, like when I grew up, like I was scared of Janice. I'm still scared of Janice. Like my mama, like I grew up scared of her, and it was a healthy respect, but it was also some fear in there. And so there was expectations that I did simply not because I understood why, but simply because there was a level of you don't ask questions. Like I never would have asked my mom why. And my kids asked me why. And when I tell you, when I first became their bonus mom, that stirred something inside of me of, how you going to ask me why? And then that's where the self-reflection came in. And I had to ask myself, is there anything wrong with them asking me why? They're still going to do whatever it is that I've told them to do. But is there anything wrong with me explaining to them why we're doing this, right?
Absolutely.
And then so teaching them that aspect of, okay, we can explain this, but also you trust and you obey because I am your parent and because what you know that I have your best interest at heart. So I say all that to say is that self-awareness, that self-check, many people, it's a buzzword and it's cute, but many of us, we avoid it because we don't actually like what we see and we don't know what to do with it when it doesn't line up with who we're portraying to other people.
I totally agree with you about this self-check, and that kind of brings us to round it out, and understanding that sometimes we do need to adjust the expectation, not lower the standard, but adjust the expectation. Because when you adjust the expectation, then what it does is it allows you to see people for who they are and let them be who they are instead of hoping that they will become what you think they should be. So adjust it a little bit, because to be honest with you, if you allow them to become, they may supersede what you want them to, what you desire them, or what they look like they should be in your eyes. They may supersede it if you allow them to be who they are, you know what I'm saying, and let them grow. Because it's about a level of growing. So you gotta, adjust these expectations, y'all. Adjust them. Adjust them, adjust them to the point where now you're taking off of the control. You're taking off of the look. You stop looking at them through your eyes and you look at them through God's eyes.
Come on here.
Because God said, I'm going to make them who they, my design and my purpose. I'm the one that has a plan for them, saith the Lord. God has a plan for everybody. So we have to allow people to go through their process, go through their purpose, go through their process for their purpose. And they will reach their purpose if we allow them to do that and we don't interfere with God's process with our expectation.
And when you see something that you do not feel like, especially when you're in a committed relationship, when you see something that just don't sit right with you, and even if you know that there's something that's not benefiting the relationship, then you also can go to God about it. Have a conversation. There is something called assertive communication. You have the passive, you have the passive aggressive, and you have the aggressive. All of those forms of communication, you communicate out of emotion. And usually it's heightened emotion. But when you learn to be assertive, we need to start learning that, how to be assertive in your communication. That assertiveness says, hey, listen, when you said this, and this, and that, it made me feel like I wasn't good enough. So now you're not pointing the finger at them. You're just letting them know something. So if we learn to communicate and get an understanding of what's going on in the relationship, then the relationship will be better. But then in the event that that person is just stubborn, they have a hard heart, they've been through trauma, they have experiences in their life that tells them different than what you're trying to say, that you're trying to build with them, then that's when you go to God, because God says there is nothing that's too hard for me. He says I can take the heart of the king and I turn it the way I want to turn it. I'm the one that will help you in times. I'm the changing agent. One plant, seeds, words, one water, and I'll add the increase. Bring it to me. So we always have that extra help in time of trouble. You don't have to look at somebody in hopelessness and say, this is never going to change. I might as well forget it. We've been going through this too long. Because if you give it to God, he will shorten that time and he'll heal them. And then when you look at them, you'll be like, wow. And like Pastor Jay said, it may supersede the list of your expectations, but then you could take all those unrealistic things, throw them away, and live.
Yeah, we serve
reality.
a nevertheless God. We serve a nevertheless God. That means that with God, we will never end up with the short end of the stick. It's always going to be exceedingly abundantly above anything we can ask, think, or imagine. So when we take our expectations off, when I stop expecting Michael to do what I want him to do, and I start presenting my request to God, and I start saying, God, show me. Then that's when Michael comes and says, hey, babe, let's talk about da 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 da. I ain't even mentioned this to him, right?
That's what happened to you too?
God.
Yeah. That happens to us. Girl, come on here.
I mentioned it to my God, right? Because we have to understand that faith and that trust. And so it's two things that you said that I wanted to comment on. One, when you talked about assertive communication, that is so true. I want to flip it. When you're communicating assertively, you want to start with I want, I feel, I need. So I don't want to start the conversation with when you said this, because now if this person isn't self-aware enough, I'm defensive.
True. That is
right.
True.
So I say, I felt when this happened, right? So now, same thing. I'm saying the exact same thing, but now I've taken your defense away because now it's about me, right? So when we're assertively communication, it says, I matter and you matter. When we're aggressively communicating, it says, I matter, you don't. When passively communicating, it says, you matter, I don't. And when we're passively aggressively communicating, it says, I matter, but I'm not going to tell you. So this is, I'm going to deny my needs. And so passive aggressive is that's the caveat, because I have needs, but that's where we talk about those unspoken expectations, right? Yeah. That's where I have needs. I expect you to meet them. And when you don't meet them, I punish you for them, right? Passive aggressive is a killer in a relationship, right? Because this is a person who refuses to speak their needs, but they were going to hold you hostage to every single one of them. So when we're looking at expectations, four things, I'm going to end with that. Four places where expectations stem from. And we've already talked about all of them: family, culture, trauma, and faith. Those are the four areas that our expectations stem from. So when we have expectations, don't be afraid to look at the motive of the expectation. Dig it up. When I tell my clients every time, is when I question something that you do or you say, it's not for you to change the answer. It's for you to fully understand why that's your answer. So when you have an expectation, challenge it and say, why do I expect this? Before I put it onto someone else, ask myself, why do I expect this? Is this because my mama expected this? Is this because I saw something on social media that said I should do this? Is this because I was in a past relationship and that's what's basing this expectation? Or is this because it's a standard that is established by my faith? And if I can check an expectation through those four channels and still decide this is healthy for me, then it's valid. But if I check it through those four channels and it doesn't line up, then that's where I let go and I allow God to do the work that I can't do anyway.
Oof, very well said.
Ain't no need to come behind that.
It's no need. It's no need.
And the doors of the church are now open.
Holy. I felt
Is
that.
there anyone who want to accept the Lord as their personal Savior?
Come on here, because that is the only way.
Yes,
Yeah,
we are
glory.
doing the plan of
That's the only
salvation
way.
right now.
Yes. Look, if you
Amen.
don't have them, my thing is you better get them
Listen,
You
y'all.
because He
better.
will help.
He's
Listen,
here.
y'all.
Yeah.
Listen, this is so powerful. I love what you said.
Absolutely.
You know, you summed it up real great, and left us with the tools
The tools.
to understand how important it is to not just, we're not saying that, hey, throw your expectations out the window. We're just saying, hey, deal with them to the fact that it doesn't destroy the relationship that you build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Build together.
deal with them so that this way there's not controlling, there's not manipulation, there's not these things that are going on that
Check
can
your
destroy
motive.
destroy them.
Yes.
So like she said, check your motive behind it, because again, there are healthy expectations that
Oh
help
yeah.
build the relationship. So we want to really kind of understand that this is where we want you guys to actually pattern how you handle expectations. So
Yes.
listen, man, LaVonia,
This is
you are
I
powerful.
mean,
always,
Yeah.
you are a jewel.
yes.
You are a jewel. We have plenty more platforms to we have
I'm
plenty more
here.
platforms to
I
go to.
love
Absolutely.
it. I just want to say, Pastor Jay, I'm going to put this on a T-shirt. Don't lower the standard, adjust the expectation. Like that,
I
Yes.
know
that right
that's
there.
right.
That's
Right
it.
Yes.
there.
Yes,
That's
Yes.
it.
that's it.
I love it.
That's it.
Just adjust it a little bit.
Okay,
Make the little
Adjust
before
adjustment.
we go,
expectation.
give us the four one more time, just in case for those in the cheap seats. The four
Yes.
channels. Give us the
Patricia
four
said,
channels.
period.
I know, right?
I
With
love,
the T. Give
I
us the
love
four
it.
channels one more
So,
time.
4 channels that you want to filter your expectation through. You want to say, is this a family expectation? Am I doing this because it's always been done in my family? We don't necessarily check our family to say, is this healthy or not? It's just been something that's been passed down, right? So I check it with is this something that happened through my family? Culture. Am I trying to live up to something that the culture is telling me that I should do? Am I comparing something, or am I putting
Mm-hmm.
expectations on something that social media or something has told me that I needed to do?
Mm-hmm.
The fourth one is trauma. Did this expectation come because I was hurt, or because someone mishandled me? And so
Right.
am I building that expectation where I should be healing a hurt?
Ooh,
Right. And
yes.
then, oh, that was good, huh?
That
And
was
then
definitely.
the fourth one would be faith. Is this an expectation that's outlined and that's in alignment with who my daddy says I am?
Oh,
And when I
yes.
am able to check those expectations through those 4 filters, I can figure out if I need to adjust it, or if it's an expectation that I need to let go.
Yes. Let it go.
I
Let it
Amen.
go.
I just want to say this, just to piggyback just a tad
Yeah,
off what
you're
all
good.
that good stuff that you said. I truly believe if our faith lines up, our expectation would fall into line the way God
Oh,
sees
Oh,
it.
yes.
yeah.
So if we line it up with what the word says, with
Yeah.
what God says,
Yeah.
because there's an
Yeah.
expectation that God has for us as his children.
Absolutely.
And
That
we
part.
have to fulfill that. We have to, because it is for the betterment of our good. But if we can look at it through the lenses of what the Bible says, then it will never be to the
Hmm.
point of manipulation. It'll always be the point of pointing it back to God.
Yes.
So we have
Yeah,
to
it's
point our
good.
expectations back to God, just like, because we are created in his
Yes.
image. So we are supposed to
Absolutely.
model what he says,
Yeah.
what he does, how he looks. So if we can start from the faith, and fulfilling
There.
what the word says through our faith, through our belief systems, through how he trusts and looks at us, if we
Yeah.
can start from there, I guarantee you, then you look at your family, then you look at your, it starts from
That's
there.
it.
So,
The foundation first.
the
Yes.
That's it.
foundation is first. I
Yes.
had to set the foundation. You
I,
said
Set
it
the
great, but
foundation, then build the house.
yes,
Huh?
then build the house.
Glory.
Because he said, unless
Glory.
God build the house,
Come
they that
on.
labor,
the labor
laboreth
in
And
in
I
vain.
don't
vain.
want to labor
In vain.
in vain.
I don't either, sis.
Y'all,
That's it. That is it,
that's
Pastor Jay.
it.
Like the foundation is the faith.
That's
What
Yes.
it.
does the Bible say?
What does the
What
Bible
does
Come
the
say?
on here.
Bible
What
say?
does the
What
Bible
does
say?
the Bible say?
Y'all, that's
Not what
our
your favorite
time.
pastor say,
Come on
not what
here.
a culture
You
say,
finna
That's
stop
not
right.
what
preaching?
somebody on
That's right.
Come
Instagram
on here.
That's
said,
right. That's
quoted.
right.
What
right.
does the Bible say?
What
What is
Right.
does the
And then what
Bible
is the
say?
Holy Spirit telling me
That's
inside of
right.
me? Right.
That's right.
And that's it. That's the foundation. And now do
That's
that.
it.
Yes.
And then everything else will flow.
Right.
Everything
Everything
else will
else will
flow.
flow.
Everything else will
Yes.
flow.
I
Yes.
love it.
Yes.
Everything.
Everything
The
else will
Bible
flow.
says,
Come on now.
I love
Come on here.
Yes.
The word says, the word of God
Hey,
says,
glory.
without
I
faith,
love it.
without it is
It is
impossible
impossible.
to please him.
Yes.
So we can't do it without it.
We can't. It's
Yeah,
no way.
right.
It's no way.
There's no way.
My God.
I get
It.
started. I gotta stop because I
I'm
will
with
get.
it. We can have church. We can
I
have
will get
church.
started. I can.
So
We're gonna
that's
have to do
y'all.
another whole podcast on faith expectations, right?
Yes.
I was
yes.
about to
Because
say church expectations, yes, we're gonna have to do
Yes.
it.
that's it.
Yes.
That's
We're gonna have to
it.
do it.
Because a lot of
LaVonia,
people walking around hurt by
that's
something
right.
God never said.
Never
They
Ooh,
said.
disappointed in God. Come
That's
on
right.
now.
ooh,
That's
You
right.
mad at God and God never promised
glory.
that. God is
Exactly.
only obligated to fulfill his word.
His
Not
word,
what
Come
not
on.
yours.
not what you created
Come
in your
on.
head.
That's right.
Yes.
The
Girl.
So then,
don't start it.
come
Don't
on, come
start
on.
it.
So then, my question is this: why, when people say they feel it, they got what? They,
That's when it's
why it gotta
catching
be
you,
that
girl. It's
a
catching you.
quickening?
But you're right. We blame that on God. God ain't never
Oh,
said
yeah.
that. And
Right.
because this is the thing that we you know what we do? We try to fit the word to fit our situations.
Right.
And that's not what it's supposed to do. We
Right.
switch we switch it
Yes.
around and say he's giving me God told me to do. No, he did not.
He did not. Okay, y'all listen.
Okay, I'm sorry. We
Cause
we
this
will
gonna
go.
be look. See,
Okay.
look. I see it.
Uh-huh.
I
Because I was
see
gonna
it.
say, God be
Right.
side-eyed us. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't
They
say
be
that.
like, I ain't even say that.
I ain't even say that.
There she go again.
That
I
don't
ain't
even
even say
sound like
that.
that don't even sound like me.
Right. Y'all listen, our time for today is gone. We love y'all so much. This thing got real goody
Listen.
goody at the
I
end. I love it.
it.
LaVonia, you got to come back. You have to.
Always.
You gotta
I'm
come
The
back.
here.
door is
I'm here.
wide open.
I mean, put me a third person in the seat. I'm in this thing. Like,
That's right.
I am
right now.
excited.
Absolutely.
Don't start nothing.
I love it. I love y'all's
I do
energy. I
too.
love y'all's marriage. I love y'all as individuals. Y'all
Thank you
are
so much.
y'all are
Thank you so
as
much.
genuine as you show up here. That's who y'all are in real life. And y'all, I'm just honored to know y'all and call y'all friends.
Thank
So
you.
I
We
am.
thank
love you
you.
I
too.
appreciate y'all.
What you
I
say, boo
appreciate y'all.
thing? We love you too, boo thing.
I love you, boo things.
All right, so y'all, until next week, I'm your girl, Lady Free.
I'm your boy, Pastor J.
And we have
And I'm LaVonia.
LTC.
Scott. Okay, Scott.
LTS.
With two T's.
Yeah, LPS.
LTS.
All
Yeah.
right, y'all. Until next week, don't forget to like and share. Peace.
Peace.
for watching.